Blake Trolley, KFI News.
And let's talk about that spill of the Coast Guard investigating as many as 144,000 gallons of oil spilled 5 miles off the Orange County coast. DA Todd Spitzer joining us on the phone. Hey, Todd.
Good morning, Layla. How's the outstanding employee of KFI doing?
Oh, thank you. You're very sweet. I'm here. I'm filling in for Jen so she can enjoy some much-deserved time off.
Listen, I want you to be the outstanding employee of the entire year, so I'm lobbying for you for that. I just want you to know that.
Well, thank you. Call the bosses and then advocate for some extra coins.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's get serious here and talk about this.
Sure.
So what's the latest? Because I know the ship that was investigated in connection with the oil spill was cleared of wrongdoing. So what's the latest on this?
Yeah, so Layla, think about this, right? I mean, people in your profession, the journalists, they're asking all the right questions, but they're not getting those answers. And so, I read all the newspapers this morning, and the LA Times yesterday had the front page story that this German carrier that was already up in Oakland, but it had, given all off its cargo in LA earlier this week, was potentially the culprit or identified by GPS of being in the area and probably laying down its anchor and causing the damage to the pipeline. They had to retract that story later in the day, and today the story is it's clearing that ship. The fact of the matter is, look, the key thing now is cleaning up the oil, taking care of all the wildlife, making sure that the economic impact is reduced as much as possible. Obviously, everybody wants to know the cause, and then more importantly, people want to know who's going to be held accountable and who's going to pay, right? All these lawsuits got filed yesterday. So I'm part of the investigative team, the U.S. Attorney, California Attorney General, District Attorney. We are now looking as basically a unified front to look at and investigate all those remaining issues. But what's happening is, in the zeal to report the cause and the responsibility, there's a danger that there's going to be misreporting. And that's not good for anybody because it could affect the lawsuits, whether criminal or civil, down the road.
Yeah, and we definitely want to make sure we're always getting it right here at KFI. So thank you for saying that. But talking about these lawsuits, without going into too much detail, the lawsuits have already been filed, the first lawsuits. Do you think, well, I guess you can't really speculate on whether or not people will be successful in their lawsuits, but how long could something like this last when people try to sue in a situation like an oil spill?
Well, I mean, it could go on for years because this is the deal, right? It's all going to be about causation. They're already talking about removing the pipe. There's going to be a forensic analysis of it. There's going to be a determination. Was it an anchor strike? Was it already weakened internally? Was it already breaking down? And then they'll start apportioning, financial responsibility based upon a formula. Basically, it's a pie. Who has this percentage of responsibility? That's on the civil side. The good news, and I put that in air quotes, the good news is that, irrespective of who has the deep pockets, whether it's the oil company, the shipping company, or whatever, there is a trust fund that is funded by the oil companies over years of time to pay for economic damages sustained as a result of these kinds of incidents. So I do believe that individuals will be compensated. At the end of the day, when you take a lot of these businesses in Huntington Beach, surf school, retail establishments that rely on that industry, and people going for tourism using the beach, they're going to be devastated, especially after suffering 18 months of COVID. But on the criminal side, what we have to look at is, was somebody reckless or intentional? And so, for example, it's already in the public, so I can talk about it. The pipeline company said they didn't know about the oil leak until 8 o'clock in the morning. And that is patently untrue. The Department of Transportation has already released through its spill division that the alarm went off to the pipeline operator at 2:30 in the morning. So those are the kinds of discrepancies Is that intentional?
Right.
Is it negligent? Those are the kinds of issues we will obviously be examining thoroughly.
All right. Well, Todd Spitzer, DA of Orange County, thank you so much.